problem. I'm going to have to hold it. Okay, I'll just have to hold it for 30 minutes. My hand's going to get tired. Hey, everybody on YouTube. Hey, everybody on Zoom. As you can tell, I'm not at my house. Okay, so I am at my friend's house. I went and we had a little swimming. I wouldn't say swimming party, but she has a pool, and she asked me to come over. And so I came over here, and Sayla, you can tell where I'm at. I know. And so anyway, I'm like, oh, I got a call. I said I got a call at 8 o'clock, and so I'm up in her sewing room. She quilts and sews for fun and for a living as well. She's got some beautiful quilts she's made up here, my friend Barbara. And so anyway, I cannot get logged on YouTube on the computer. So I'm having to hold the phone and hold the Zoom. So that's just what I'm going to have to do. And so anyway, you guys, I have a few things to say. So this won't be super long because my hand's going to get tired. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. But first of all, happy Mother's Day to everybody. Happy Mother's Day. It's been a great day. I got up and went to church, and then I had a brunch at my house, and my mother, she's 82. She came over along with my brother and my sister and my niece, and we just had a great time. And my mother, my brother said, Mama, tell us like the day we were all born, what you can remember. And she's like, okay. Well, my brother's name is Wendy. She goes, yeah, Wendy, you were the first one, and you were born on Christmas Day, and this happened, and I took you home. And she told a story about how she had some medicine for that she didn't know anything. She's 20 years old, and he got sick, and they gave him some drops for the baby. And she says, I didn't know. I thought it was nose drops. So I was pouring. She goes, that poor baby. I was putting the drops in his nose instead of the mouth, and he wasn't getting well. And she took him back to the doctor. They're like, well, are you using the drops? She goes, I didn't know what I was doing. And then she told another story about my brother, and I'm in the middle. And I said, she got done. She goes, and Cleta, I don't remember much about that. She was born in the house we live in now. And then Connie, I said, that's it? You can't remember anything about me? And she's like, I just don't remember that much. She goes, no, but Connie, when she came home, she told this whole story about Connie. So I'm like, it's that middle child, middle child syndrome. But anyway, it's been a great day. And you know what? I think I can, oh, that's beautiful. I can hold this right up here, and then my hand's not going to get as tired. Okay. So YouTubers, I apologize. I'm not looking at you. I'm looking away, but it's the way it is tonight. So anyway, I've had a great day, and I was just thinking about what I could talk to everybody about tonight. And so I was thinking about Mother's Day, and I was thinking about Mary Kay Ash. And of course, most of you know that I've been in Mary Kay for 35 years, and I got a chance to meet Mary Kay. And so I started Mary Kay in 1985, and she passed away in 2001. And I became a sales director in 89. So that was about 11 years about 12, that I was a director and Mary Kay was still living. And so I got to go to some of her trainings and different things. And one of the things she used to say is she would get up there and she would call us, the sales directors and the nationals, she would call us her daughters. And she said, you are my daughters. And, when I'm long gone, she would say, you will be carrying on the traditions, especially to the nationals, and keep our company the way it is. And she just would come in there and just like pour her heart out of what this company meant to her and what she wanted it to be for women. And just like would almost like made us promise that we would continue with the traditions of God first, family second, and career out. So anyway, I was thinking tonight about her and how there was times and stories that I've heard of women in Mary Kay, directors that maybe had a family member die, like their mother or their father or even a husband. And Mary Kay Ash would actually call them, like pick up the phone and call them. I remember one director calling, and she answered the phone, and she was like, hello. She goes, hey, is this, Susie, whatever? And she's like, yeah. She said, well, this is Mary Kay. She goes, what? She said, yeah, I'm just calling to check on you. I knew that your husband was really sick, and like something like that. And she goes, I just could not believe it, But Mary Kay would do that. She would find out about women in the company that had some troubles going on, and she would check on them. And then, even like celebrations, weddings, and things like that. And she truly made us think and feel like she loved us so much, to the point that at her funeral, you guys, the church service, the church building was huge, and on one whole side of the church was Mary Kay national sales directors and Mary Kay directors. And, they all wore their Mary Kay director suits and their national suits. And then the other side was friends and family, right? And so I remember, I think it was Rena Tarbert that got up and they just said thank you to the family and said for sharing your mother and your grandmother with us all these years, because she's like a mother to many of us and she was like a grandmother to many of us. And of course her family has been so gracious to do that and share her with us, because think about it. I mean, we did monopolize a lot of her time, the Mary Kay world, right? And but of course she still was close with her family, and she talked about how she would leave work and drive home because her husband was very traditional, male Ash, and wanted to eat at a certain time every night, and Mary Kay to be right there at the table. She said, so no matter what happened, at 5 o'clock, she put everything in her tote bag. She would get to the car. She would get home. She'd put it all aside. She said, and then they would have their traditional eat with your husband at night at 6 o'clock or whatever time it was. And she goes, and then later, I might get my tote bag out and write notes and things like that. So she was very traditional as far as family. And they used, in her favorite holiday was Thanksgiving, and she would have so many people over. And Ryan Rogers, her grandson, always talked about how it never was just the family. There was always like 20 or 30 people they didn't know that somehow Mary Kay had invited to the Thanksgiving dinner. And so that's just how our founder was. And so I was thinking today, how could we, Mary Kay really was our example for this company. She taught us how to sell it. She taught us how to book. She taught us how to recruit. And her autobiography and all of that, it's really our guide, right? Just like, for life, you know, as believers would be the Bible, and our Jesus is our example. And say we should have little bracelets that said, "What would Mary Kay do?" And but so I was thinking tonight of how could we be more like Mary Kay's example, and how could we, there's different groups of people in our Mary Kay business. How could we make them feel like family? And how could we be that way to them? And so I was thinking, as a consultant, there's about 4 groups that you deal with. And so the first would be your customers. That's a group of women and people that you deal with. The second would be like your sister consultants, the girls that are in your unit with you, that you meet and see on a regular basis. The third would be like your sales director and maybe the sales director friends. And then the fourth would be maybe like adoptees or A-team members, women that come to your sales meetings. They're not really in our unit, but we take them on as ours. We adopted them, okay, like an adopted family. And then as sales directors, we have all of those, but we also have possibly your offspring sales directors or your sister sales directors, okay? And so I was thinking about that. So let's talk about customers first for a minute. So customers, what could you do to make them feel like your family, like you really care about them? And so if you think about what Mary Kay did, first of all, she got to know them. And she called them, she got to know us. I'm thinking about us. She called us by name, right? She knew who we were. And so as you develop your customers, I want you to not think about someone that you sell to as a one-time sale. Like, you come, you're facial, or maybe you see them on Facebook. Don't think of them as a one-time sale. I want you to think about that woman as 30 years from now, you're still selling to her. And not only her, but her daughter, and not only her daughter, but her 14-year-old granddaughter. She just brought her to you. Because you guys, that's what happens if you commit to stay in Mary Kay long enough. You will facial the woman, then she'll facial her daughter, and then later her granddaughter. And I have that. I have families that I have facialed every one of their daughters or granddaughters when they turn 14 years old. They're like, Cleta, we're coming to you. Little whatever's just turned 14. And, I want to bring her to you just like I did, just like my mom brought me. And I'm like, that's crazy. But it's the truth, because in my 20s, I was facialing people that were in their 50s, right? Because there's no age thing in Mary Kay. And so, and then as you get older, of course, there's other babies being born and, people are bringing their children to you. So first of all, I would say, get to know your customers. Do they have daughters? Have you met their mom? Linda Tupin just recently came to Valdosta. She talked about, do you know your customers, their mother, their aunt, and their sister? Because, then you have a group of women that all use Mary Kay, and they'll stay customers. They'll come to things together. And when you recruit one of them, they have a building customer base because mom, their sister, and their aunt all use Mary Kay, right? And that was really with me when I signed up. I knew that my mom and my sisters and my aunts use Mary Kay. And so it was really easy because I had some customers like right off the bat and they loved the product more than me. They'd used it way longer. And so you want to get to know your customers, and when you facial them, you might even say, hey, you know what? I'm not looking for a one-time sale. I'm not looking just to take your money today and us be done. I really am want to be your beauty consultant the rest of your life. I want to help you with your daughter's wedding. And maybe even their daughter maybe only be 3. Say, I want to help you with your granddaughters when she turns 13 or 14 years old. I'd love to be the one to show her how to use her makeup. I want to help you when you have special occasions. I'm your beauty consultant, and I really want to be that for you, the rest of our lives together. And so this isn't just, I'm not here just for the money and just for a one-time sale. And I would say that to people. This was back, Mary Kay told us to say that. And so you tie people to you when you say stuff like that. And then also I would say this. Now you have to think about it if you want to say this. I can say it with no issue. I say, and I'm not going anywhere. I am not quitting Mary Kay. I'll be a Mary Kay until, I can't sell it anymore. And you can count on me to get you your products, what you need, when you need them, in a timely manner. And so I'm really looking forward to getting to know you better. And I want you to never feel like you're bothering me if you call me and ask me a question about lipstick or eyeshadow or cleanser or anything, because I want to be your consultant. And I know that's a lot of words, but if you say stuff like that, it sets you apart from Susie Q at the mall who's chewing her gum and batting her lashes and don't even know what you're talking about. And you are a one-time sale to her. She's not trying to develop customers, right? I mean, for the most part. Now, sometimes there's people that have been at those beauty counters long enough they get to know you, but for the most part, they're an hourly wage person that comes in, and it doesn't matter, to them. They don't care when your birthday is and when your anniversary is, or if your mother, needs a Mother's Day gift, right? So I want you to think about that, tying those customers to you. The other thing I want you to think about is when you make a mistake with your products, like with an order. Now, I know this is kind of an odd thing to say, but like this week, I made 2 mistakes. I know, it's odd. I know y'all thought I didn't make mistakes. 2 of them. Okay, one of them was this lady texted me, and she said, Cleta, I need, and she had 7 things on the list. And when I added it all up, it was like $200, okay? So she wanted to pick it up from my house. I have a little box I put it in. So I did the receipt. I looked at her text and made sure, what it said. And then I did her receipt up. I charged her credit card, and I got the products and put them in the box. Well, the next day she said, you didn't give me my eyeliner or my lip liner. And I'm like, son of a gun. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I said, listen, I said, I will run it by your house. I said, today. It was about 8 o'clock in the morning. I said, I'll run it by today. I said, I am so sorry. I said, but I'll be over there, just a little bit. And she said, well, I'm going out of town. And I said, well, what time are you leaving? She goes, well, I'm at Starbucks. I'm really fixing to leave like in 20 minutes. And I said, just put it in the box outside. I mean, seriously, I had no makeup on, but I was going to throw a hat on and just go give it to her. And so anyway, she ended up running out of time. She said, listen, I'm kind of coming back tonight. She goes, just drop it off on my porch. So I drove it to her house. Okay. I didn't make it 100% right because she didn't have her product and she was going out of town and she needed her lip liner. People need their liner, And so I put a little extra special gift in there and, profusely apologize. Okay, there's another lady. She came up to pick her order up. And I don't know if I've just had a lot on my mind this week. It's embarrassing, when you make mistakes, right? Because I really pride myself on being prompt and being accurate. But I put a repair night solution in the bag instead of a day solution. And she lives kind of far out. So it's a little effort to get to my house. She picks it up. And of course, she says, you put the wrong thing in there. I need day cream, not night cream. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I said, do you want me just to pop it in the mail to you? Or she goes, well, I'm going out of town for a week. I'm like, wouldn't you know? Like you make a mistake and they're going out of town a week. And she goes, but I have an extra one. I said, well, listen, I'm going to go ahead and she goes, just wait. When I get back, I'll get with you. But I didn't. I decided to go ahead and ship it to her. And It'll be there when she gets there. And I text her. I said, listen, I'm going to go ahead and ship you one. I said, and just keep the night cream. Now, that night cream is $52 retail, but I said, keep it. You know why? Because that's my mistake. And I don't want her to go, loser. I'm going to find me a beauty consultant that can read. And, we all make mistakes every now and then. But I'm going to do my best to make it up to the ones if I do that. And then the other thing is, it reminded me, I thought, Cleta, take that extra 5 seconds and look at the text, look at your receipt, and look in the bag. And just make sure you're giving them the right formula and the right thing. Because sometimes we get in a hurry, or I do, and I get them all together. And I remember that day I had like 4 or 5 orders, and you think you're all over it, and then you make a mistake. I hate making mistakes with my customers, y'all. And even though I'm a sales director, my customers are very important to me. Okay, so anyway, so just some tips on that, on customer service and tying your customers. And one thing that you can do with your customers, if you friend them on Facebook, it's a lot easier than used to get to know them. If you friend them on Facebook, and most of you do because you have a customer group, follow them too, so that you actually see their posts. Because you can have a friend, but you never see what they do. If you go and actually follow them, like you click the little button that says follow, then you'll see when they post, and actually comment on their grandbaby's picture. Comment on their daughter's 2nd birthday. Comment, it's so beautiful. What you're doing is you're forming a friendship with her, and you're forming a tie to her. And what will happen is later in life, she would never think of ordering another brand or getting another beauty consultant, because you're the bomb. I mean, you're her girl, right? And she will recommend you. And later, she might even become a consultant or refer you to somebody that can sign up. So I want y'all to think about that. Okay. So then with your sister consultants, let's talk about that. I was thinking today, I'm over here at my friend Barbara's house. Barbara was a consultant in my unit. She was recruited by one of my personal recruits. And she and I have been besties for years, like 30 years. And I met her because one of my unit members recruited her. Okay. And then Sayla, same thing. Sayla, my bestie. Sayla and I knew who each other were, but we became best friends because of Mary Kay. And I could go down the line. And so I want you to think about your sister consultants, and I want you to look at them not as competition. Look at them as sisters, because we call each other sister consultants. Not many companies do that. My daddy has Colson Printing Company. They don't call each other brother printers or sister printers. They're just co-workers. Okay, we don't call each other co-workers in Mary Kay. We call each other sister consultants because it's a family, right? And we always think about Mary Kay as being like the mother, right? The big mother of all. So I want you to think about your sister consultants, and I want you to make an effort to get to know the women in your unit. Maybe go to lunch with it. If it's somebody brand new, maybe reach out to them. Maybe have an encouraging word. If you see your director post something on Facebook about one of the consultants in your unit, why don't you say something? Say, beautiful picture. Great job, Sandra. Happy birthday, Cindy. I mean, it doesn't take 3 seconds to make a comment. And then maybe reach out to them if they had a great day in sales. It's such a compliment when someone calls and says, hey, how did you sell $1,000? Well, that girl she goes, wow, she really cares enough about me, in my opinion, to ask me. So you could ask them, send them a message on Facebook, send them a text. If you're in my unit, I'll give you their phone number. You want to call them? I mean, that's how you get to know people. And I know we haven't been at sales meetings a lot lately, but when everybody gets back, go get something to eat after the meeting. We used to have this whole group, and every single week after the meeting, we go to Outback. Me and Sayla and Sandra Wall and Ann Dawkins, and we would go out to eat. And that's how we got to know each other, not at the meeting, after the meeting, and we become the closest of friends. And so I want to just encourage you to look at these women in your unit, not just as like my competition, they're my co-workers. No, they're your sisters. And when you come in to a sisterhood, like a new consultant, you want them to feel like they belong. So you really want to make that effort to reach out to them. Okay, let's talk about our A team. This is more when we met in person, but even now we have women that we call them our A team, our adoptees, our adorables. And these are women that go to everything with us, and yet they're not in our unit. They are your sister consultant because they're a Mary Kay sister, but they're not in your unit. You know what? I want you to just forget that and just pretend like they really are adopted into your unit. And so if you Johnny, and then you got the biological, brothers and sisters, you don't go, oh, well, you're adopted. No, you're a son and daughter just like they are, right? So I want you to think about that and how we treat our adoptees and our sister consultants, that their director lives, in another area, but they can come to our meetings. And like another one of my closest friends, her name is Jessica Rowe. She walked in my unit meeting as a red jacket. Oh, I think about 12 years ago. And she's a lot younger than me too. But we just hit it off. She ended up becoming a sales director, and for a few years, and then later she stepped down as sales director, but she's still a Mary Kay beauty consultant, and she's a realtor, just doing fabulous. But she and I are so close, and we just had dinner just the other night, and it's cause of Mary Kay. So if you don't look around, like, you could be really missing out on some really great friendships in Mary Kay through your customers, through your sister consultants, and of course, as directors, our sister directors and our offspring, right? And so we want to treat them as sisters too. How do sisters treat each other? Well, they share their clothes, they share their ideas, right? They cry with them, they laugh with them. And so when you have an idea, Mary Kay, we are really that type of company, and we need to be. This is what Mary Kay wanted us to be. She would say, if you have an idea and I have an idea and we both share our ideas, then we both have two ideas. And she was all about us sharing our ideas. We're not like other companies, you guys. We're not trying to get an idea and say, I'm not telling anybody because I want to beat everybody, right? Instead, when something works, we're like, I cannot wait to tell y'all what worked. And then you say, in fact, here are the exact words you need to say. And you set people up for success. That's what Mary Kay wanted us to do, and that's what sets us apart from other companies. So I just wanted to mention a few of those things today. And I want to tell you like two situations of two other companies that I could tell I was not important to them. Okay. One of them was my gynecologist. Okay. So I've been going to this guy for years. Okay. Like I would say 15 years. All right. I mean, who knows you better than your gynecologist in ways you don't even want to talk about? And I would go in there, you guys, and I'd walk in there. Now, my first name is Mary. Any of you that don't go by your first name, you will understand what I'm talking about. But, on the chart, I mean, it says in parentheses. But I would go in there, it's like year 15 or 16. Hi, Mary. How are you doing? I thought, you still don't know my name? I mean, like, you've done procedures on me and you still don't even know my name. You don't even call me by what I go by. I mean, can you not look at your little piece of paper there that says, in quotation mark, Cleta? And you guys end up switching. I started going to this woman gynecologist, and guess what? She goes, hey, Cleta, how are you? Do you know what I'm saying? It's important. Okay. Then I would go on the other side of the coin, the Cadillac dealership here in Valdosta, which they just closed. But for years and years, every single Cadillac I've ever gotten, I got at this dealership. I go in there. They all call me by name. They all joke around. They know me. I can call them anytime. The service guy is like, Cleta, what's going on? And I mean, it's just like you feel valued. When I go to the Cadillac dealership, I feel valued. Like, come right here. You want something to eat or drink? Are you going to wait, or you need a car while we do your tune-up or repair or whatever? And it's like, I love the Cadillac dealership. I go and hang out there. The gynecologist, hey, Mary, not so much. Okay? So people do remember how you treat them. I haven't gone to that gynecologist, and I would say probably 15 years, and I'm still talking about it. And I even see him. He's on the golf course. I should call him the wrong name, but I don't. And I say, yeah, your husband used to be my doctor, but we won't talk about that. But anyway, so I want you to think about good customer service, and I want you to think about how Mary Kay wants us to treat each other and treat our customers. And you guys, if you will do this, I promise you, you will have sales the rest of your life in Mary Kay. And it's just like I was in this class that as a future executive director, I got to go to do this little retreat. It was a virtual one. It was called Empowered Leaders. And Cindy Williams was talking. She's #1 national in the Ruby Sales Division. And she said, she says, I'm a star consultant every quarter. I can't help myself. I love this stuff. She goes, I'm 100% Mary Kay head to toe. She goes, and I can't help but not keep selling it. She goes, my customers love it. And I just love it. And, she's so enthusiastic about her product. She doesn't have to sell anything. She makes plenty of money without making 50% on her cleansing cream, right? But she says, I can't help it. I love this product so much. I want people to use it. I want to sell it to them. And she goes, plus I got customers for years that depend on me to get them their stuff. They don't care that I'm a national, and anyway, so I thought about that. I thought, no matter what I do, I got to get Miss Betty her cleansing cream. I've been selling to Betty for 30 years. She loves it when I bring her cleansing cream, right? So anyway, those are just a few things I wanted to share tonight on Mother's Day. And I think that Mary really wants us to remember these things and to just keep our company like it is, and don't just be someone out there for the money that you don't even care about people, because Mary Kay said, take the dollar signs out of your eyes and just look at them and make them feel important, and you will have a great party. And even if it's a zero party, later something great would come out of it. And she was just always so right. So I know some of these awesome sales directors probably have some things to add. For my YouTube bunch, we're just going to go ahead and end, because since I'm holding the phone here, I'm not going to be able to show you their awesome words. So for those of you that are on Zoom, you're going to get to hear from them too. But everybody else, I hope you have a great Mother's Day, and we'll be talking to you soon.